Hello, this is Karen Inglis, and it's just before Christmas, and I thought it might be quite fun to give a reading from my office here of The Christmas Tree Wish. It's a couple of weeks before Christmas now, and it's all starting to feel rather cosy. It's cold and dark outside, and Misty, my cat, she's asleep in the basket down there. It's probably a little bit too dark to see her, but she might wake up while I'm reading. You never know. Anyway, just to tell you a little bit about The Christmas Tree Wish. This is a very special story, and it came to me after I saw a little tree that had been left unsold a couple of days before Christmas one year. And after I got home, I kept thinking about this poor little tree, and I thought, I need to write a story about him, and I'd love to give him a happy ending. And what you're going to find is that this story is very much one about friendship and being kind and how it's okay to be different. And you're going to meet his friends during the story. Here's little Bruce Spruce. He's in the middle here. And either side, we've got Penelope Pine with the yellow star. We've got Douglas Fir with the great big bow tie. And we've got Cedrick Cypress with that lovely great big scarf. So let's get on with the story. It was early on Christmas Eve morning when the snow began to fall, cloaking the rooftops and gardens and landing lightly on the branches of the last few Christmas trees at Netherwillow Garden Centre. And there you can see, of course, the little robin on the wall looking over them, and the squirrel looking over them as well. So here it is, the day before Christmas, and it's starting to snow. "Not a moment too soon," whispered Penelope Pine, and she stretched her branches wide, sending clouds of snow dust into the still dawn air. "Just in time," murmured Douglas Fir, and he reached tall towards the sky, sending a snowy waterfall cascading downwards. "At last," boomed Cedrick Cypress, and he coughed loudly, shaking snow from his needles. "Oh, oh, oh." And as you can see, the little squirrel and the bird, they're all getting covered in snow. I think they might be quite cold, don't you? Still deep in his dreams, little Bruce Spruce snoozed and snored under the white blanket of newly fallen snow. In his dreams, children hung bright red baubles and silvery stars on his branches. "Wake up, Bruce," whispered Penelope Pine. "Wake up, Bruce," called Douglas Fir. "Wake up, Bruce," bellowed Cedrick Cypress. And as you can see, little Bruce Spruce has his eyes closed, and he's sleeping away and dreaming about all the children who are hanging decorations on him. In fact, he has a little cat in his dream, sleeping a little bit like Misty is at the moment beside the fireplace. Slowly, little Bruce began to stir. Then, as his dream faded, his eyes snapped wide to a sea of glistening white. "It's snowing!" he shrieked. "So it is," said Penelope Pine, "and there's no time to waste. Today is our last chance to find a home for Christmas." Bruce breathed in deeply, ready to shake off the snow and show his branches. Then, with all his might, he puffed out. Can you see him puffing out over here? To get the snow off him. The snow didn't move. He breathed in again, more deeply, and puffed out one more time. There he goes again. But still his branches stayed covered in snow. Finally, he took one last enormous breath and, oh, but now his head was spinning. "Help!" he cried. "The snow's too heavy and I'm all dizzy. How can I show off my beautiful branches if no one can see them?" And this is where Bruce's friends come to help him. "Don't worry," said Penelope Pine, and she stretched out and poked Bruce's trunk hard with one of her branches. Little Bruce's tree trunk trembled, and a few clouds of snow dust fell to the ground. You can see them falling here. "I'll help," said Douglas Fir, and he took the deepest of breaths and sent a howling gale in Bruce's direction. Woo! And then down came the snow. A huge curtain of snow dropped from Bruce's branches. "Last bit," boomed Cedrick Cypress, and he bowed forward and brushed the rest of Bruce's snow away. "Phew, thank you," said Bruce, feeling the warmth of the early morning sun on his shiny green needles. And can you see how kind Cedrick Cypress is being? He's hugging him with his lovely warm scarf, and little Bruce is now very happy because he's got all the snow off him. But if we look over here, I think something might be a problem. I wonder what it is. Let's find out. But then, "Oh dear," said Penelope Pine. "Oh no," whispered Douglas Fir. "Oh my," murmured Cedrick Cypress. And the little squirrel does look rather worried, I think. We better find out what's happened. And that's when Bruce saw them. 2 broken branches halfway down his trunk. Can you see them here? The longer he stared, the more broken and ugly they seemed. Little Bruce swallowed, trying to blink back his tears. Who would want a Christmas tree with a broken branch? Can you see? The squirrel doesn't look very happy, and neither does the robin. But guess what? His friends are there for him again, starting with Penelope. "Don't worry," said Penelope Pine. "None of us is perfect. Why, just look at this bump in the middle of my trunk." "She's right," said Douglas Fir. "Just look at my silly bendy top." We've all had trees with a bendy top, haven't we? "He's right," said Cedrick Cypress. "My branches are much longer on one side when I turn. See? I'm more lopsided." And I think we've all had a tree that's lopsided in the past. "Besides," he said gently, "you are still a beautiful tree." Little Bruce smiled and nodded, but he couldn't make his empty feeling go away. All day long, families came to choose their Christmas trees. "Cheerio! Good luck all," called Penelope Pine. And as you can see, she's been very lucky. A family have chosen her and they're taking her home. And there's a little squirrel playing. I wonder if anybody's noticed him there. And look at all the other families. They've come with their dogs and the little children and the older ones, and they're taking their trees home with them. And I'm sure if you've been to choose a Christmas tree with your family, it's such a fun thing to do, isn't it? "Needles up," said Douglas Fir as he went off with his family. "You'll be fine. I can feel it in my branches," boomed Cedrick Cypress. And off he goes. Now I wonder what's happened with little Bruce Spruce. As the sun went down, little Bruce began to shiver. All of the other Christmas trees had been sold, and he felt very alone. Oh dear, can you see his little sad face here? Poor Bruce. And actually even the robin looks sad, and the squirrel looks sad, and we all know what it feels like to be sad, don't we? "Oh, I wish I could find a home this Christmas," said Bruce with a sigh. Then, to make himself feel less sad, he closed his eyes and thought about last night's dream. And I think that was a very good idea, because he thought about, do you remember the dream he had at the beginning of the story? There it is. And he closes his eyes and he thinks about the dream of all the children decorating him to cheer himself up. So now let's see what happens. Remember, he's got his eyes closed and he's dreaming. "I've found one," said a little voice. "It's perfect." "It's so sweet," said another. "He's just like me," said a third voice. And look, can you see the little boy here? He's got a broken arm, and I think he's spotted Bruce's has got broken branches. Little Bruce's eyes snapped open to see 3 round faces beaming up at him. Can you see his lovely big smile now? And I think the robin's very happy, isn't he? And so are the children. "It's beautiful," said the lady standing behind them. Little Bruce's tree trunk filled with warmth. "I think you found your perfect match," said the kindly tree man. "Merry Christmas all." "Merry Christmas," called the children. "Merry Christmas and thank you," whispered little Bruce. Little Bruce Spruce's Christmas wish really had come true. And as you see, he's now gone home and he's gone to his real home and he's got the children decorating him. And how lovely, look, the robin and the squirrel are there watching him. And so that was the story of little Bruce Spruce. And as you see, children's authors, when we see things and they stay in our hearts and we can't get rid of them, we end up writing a story about them. So I really hope you've enjoyed that story about the Christmas tree wish. And remember, if you know somebody who's feeling sad, it's really, really nice if you can help them and encourage them and show them that we all care. Anyway, that's the end of my story. Oops. And I do hope that I just get the snow falling again. I hope you have a very, very Merry Christmas. And that's it. Bye for now.